I don't know how I like how this feel.
What do you mean?
The rapid fire question, it don't seem like it's we got an objective with the podcast. Now it just seems like we just sit there talking about random questions online and answering. It don't seem like we got to go with the, but we just here sitting answering random questions.
Okay.
Or whereas before it seemed like two dudes, two artists doing a podcast. It don't. It just seem like it ain't. I don't know. You feel me?
It's not natural.
Not natural. I don't know. Just going from what we was doing and what it felt like. This seems like
I'm just seeing it as at a point where we can try new things because we're not set down to one thing and kind of see how it's gonna, from different perspectives, from workload, from consistency, from breaking things down. How can we, make one sit down 3, 4, 5 episodes? Sorry. Like, I think it's more so trying this was more so to figure out what works best for everyone involved and for the show's success. I definitely liked us sitting down and the segments and the whole right through to it, but I just don't see that sustainable right now without a team, without a budget, without all these things. So factoring in not having a team, factoring in doing it ourselves, factoring in our schedules, factoring in all these things, trying to figure out a way. It doesn't have to be this. I'm not set to this. This is more like brainstorming an idea. We can completely scrap it. I'm not married to any idea. It's more so let's figure out something that we can have a 1 hour or 2 hour conversation, whether it's questions, whether it's conversations, whether it's a game, whether it's whatever it needs to be, and then break that down into 3, 4, 5 episodes from one sit down. So like that, it's less workload on me since we don't have a team, and it's also a lot easier for us to just shoot once and know we're covered for a while.
We can do what we was originally doing. Having what we gonna talk about. If we gonna be artists explaining how we doing it and little shit we talk about, and if we're gonna be informative or whatever we're gonna do. I feel like we can still do that vibe. We just edit it different. We just cut that bitch up into different episodes, so it just still feels.
Okay, then shall we do it where we build a segment and we bring in the segment and end the segment and then go into the next thing? And that's episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, for example, or week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Break an episode into 4 segments, and then every time we finish a segment, cut it and say, okay, guys, like that's the end of segment 1. Come back next week for segment 2.
We don't gotta say that. We can just cut it up that way and post them that way. I feel like we don't gotta say it. Like we could shoot it regular and then just. Because we ain't gonna start off each segment introducing ourselves again type shit.
Yeah.
We just gonna be a flow of a show, so we can just shoot it regular. And
but then it makes no sense to introduce us at all if it's gonna look like chopped up. The reason why I wanted to do it, the reason why I said, or at least suggested this, it's because we can full on have like 30, 40, 50 questions, and then we can have 20 minutes, and that gives us 5 of those questions, and then next time, like I said, I'm not married to the idea. I'm thinking more so from, let's say, a viewer, like a fan, right, that follows us and watches us every week. How do we give something to them that's exciting and fun to watch and funny and playful and informative, all these things, and how can we do it every week where it switches up? Like this week could be questions, next week could be us going to eat food at the restaurant or whatever. It's just like certain things we just need to figure out what's going to be the best way that we can. The restaurant doesn't really make too much sense because that's one episode. You can't, like, we're out, we have to travel there, we have to order the food. That's like 3-4 hours to get one episode. So I think right now our main focus, our brainstorm needs to be,
but that type of stuff is going to give our podcast its distinction, and it could be, when we do that, it could be edited different. It could be shot just like a blog. You feel me? We ain't got to do cuts in it. Just add the fucking words on there. You feel me? And it ain't like we got to spend time editing.
You're saying when we go out to eat? I'm not saying we can't do that. I'm just saying that those are one-offs. We need to think of something that, whether it's sitting down, having a conversation, whether it's documenting stuff.
I say we just sit down like we've been doing, have lined out outline of what we about to talk about. If we about to talk about our grind and give tips on what we doing right now to help somebody else. If we about to talk about some music industry shit, still outline that all up, but just
But then
cut it
the
up.
question there would be, okay, week 1 you get music stuff. Week 2 you get segment whatever, big people doing small things. Week 3 you get rapid questions. Week 4 you get sing along, and then back again. So you have to wait 3-4 weeks till you get back to informative music.
Maybe.
Do you get what
What's
I
wrong
mean?
with but what's wrong with that?
I
At the
don't
same
mind.
time?
I don't mind. I'm just thinking bigger
Yeah.
picture.
I mean,
let's
that
look
means
at-
every week is something different and different topics, and keeping it spaced out on what we talk about, but still keeping it the umbrella what we talking about, but it's just spaced out.
Yeah.
Just like we would want to have episodes be different.
So how we spoke about last time on the phone, that I wanted to break up our last episode into 3, so that gives us 3 weeks. That was the last conversation we had, pretty much, from the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant to be split up into 3. So are you okay with like each episode, like a whole month being split up into, like one episode split up into a month, essentially? Are you okay with that? Do you think certain things might, I mean, most of the questions could be random, they don't have to be on point, but what's going to happen when we put out something timely? You know, like talking about music coming out or anything like that. Like,
I feel like that's probably like a good idea, actually. Shoot one good episode a month and post segments of it throughout the month. And then get to the next episode. Next episode.
like the reason why I think that's a good idea, and when we discuss splitting it into 3, 4, however we need to, is people's attention span. They might not want to watch a full 1 hour. Even like people I really enjoy watching,
Right.
I don't end up watching a whole hour. Sometimes I just want to watch 20 minutes or 18 minutes or
Exactly.
15 minutes. So
Do
we
let's do that?
do we do a show where it's like, okay, let's aim to do an hour and a half of conversation and try to split it up into 4? Like say, okay, let's move on to the next topic so we can get the next segment.
Yeah.
How do you think?
Same thing we've been doing, I feel like. Our same amount of time. We usually go like an hour and a half. We had one that was like 2. But that's cool and good at the same time, because we can chop it up. Maybe we can make it good. Like we editing it. We have different changes, like an EP. Like you got all the good songs right here in this package, and the good clips right here. These clips. So I think that'll be like good packaging them in like different category, even if it's long or short. Sometimes we're gonna have a 15-minute episode. Sometimes we're gonna have a 30-minute. Sometimes we have a 20. Sometimes we might have a 40 if we went longer. But we still shot one time and edited one time, really. You feel me, to get everything, so we ain't spending the whole month shooting and editing.
Okay.
Run it. Now that motherfucker making my eyes, but I'm cooler. But I'm cooler though.
You cooling?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Well, we'll see how this turns out, but I don't even mind putting this conversation on. It's real, it's raw. Like I don't mind showing people an insight into kind of our conversations, and that's the beauty of calling it a show. Essentially, like we said, we want to call it a show because it's open for discussion. It doesn't have to be one thing. So like, let's test it out. Let's do a month. Let's do a couple months. See the workflow. See workflow, workload, and delivery time. And see.
Yeah. So y'all just gotta tap into the, you feel me, the development and the growth of the show. You feel me? So y'all gonna see where we take it. You feel me? I'm glad we is gonna put this episode.
I don't mind.
Out and
I
like,
don't mind.
you feel me, grow from it and build on it. You feel me?
Yeah.
And we can keep it rocking too, and just
for sure.
ask
We can dive into
questions.
Now I think we could throw in the questions, or we can just however we want. It doesn't have to be these questions. It could be whatever. But maybe now we go into. Okay. Let's go. Let's dive into basketball, because before we mentioned it, and I was like, I'm not that into it, especially not like you.
You hate basketball.
I love basketball.
You hate it, bro. Nah, you ain't. I remember last time we played, it was hilarious.
Why, whooped your ass?
No, my God. Throwing the ball over the backboard. I think you hit the rim on your shot probably like twice. Everything hitting all backboard.
There's no way.
It was
There's no way.
It was hard to watch.
We'll get a court and we'll play. You have a court in your building?
Not the building I'm in now. Just
You
more.
have access to
I always
the
got
old,
access
the old
to a
court.
court though. I can get access to a court.
Okay, let's do it 1-on-1.
Oh man, that's gonna be funny.